Okay, Tom. And nothing. Do you write anything in advance for the background like the others, or?
Uh, I've got it like in the bio and info.
Oh, okay. Ah, you did. Oh, sweet. All right. Let's have a read. Cause yeah, it's only 2 players that I've had to do fresh so far, but I didn't mind. So just like the others, I do it in like a 3-chapter sort of piece for your session 0. It's just 3 major scenes.
Yep.
All right, let's read this. Shepherd Dwarf. Holy crap, this is really, really good. Wait, I haven't had a well-written piece like this in ages. Not gonna lie. But the
Because it's like fresh. I was like, you know what? I'll even if it's like a short campaign, I want him to be like, you know, an actual character.
yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, just like the one I did before. There is an explanation as to your skill proficiencies and your backgrounds already. That's good. Um, the event, there wasn't any major event as to how you got your powers. I like the explanation of it. It was just it just took to him every time, and he learned naturally as he
Yeah,
did his.
because I'm thinking like, because he's a dwarf,
Hmm.
I think it would be like he experiences time like way differently than things. So what something like a human would learn in like 5 years, it would take like he's done it over the course of like 50
Yep, yep.
sort of thing.
Hmm. Like I get you. This is really, really good. Honestly, sometimes it sucks that you guys are getting so good at writing these because I'm like, well, I don't have to do anything. Oh, okay. um, that being the case, there is, since you did it so well, you only have to roll for certain things. You did learn from a traveling craftsman. Roll a d100. Let's see who that is. 27. Let me look through my characters. This was probably uh the most odd visitor Zeitgen has ever had, and you had the pleasure of learning from them, and also, well, not being, well, actually, yes, being in their good graces. Uh, this this woman was, she's on the chubbier side, um, short but definitely a human. Um, Wore a backpack 3 times the size of her, always around. So, just Lily Ruka from Danmachi, but actual normal size this time. Uh, she has she has this great pink hair that just poofs into an afro sometimes, and whenever she styles it, it's just very, very, very luscious thick hair. Um, and she always wears like some sort of like a white doctor's mask around. She introduces herself as people think she's crazy, but you get the sense there might be some sort of truth to her. She introduces herself as Mei Tianxi, and she says She's a traveler of worlds. Now, not only did she, produce the talent that you had been learning, she was also just a master of all the trades. She went to Zaijin under uh under first the goal, as she declared, to learn underneath the elders and their trades, but then you know stayed in Zaijin for a good 10 years to teach a lot of her craft. Roll for me a d4.
Okay.
4. If you'd like, if you if you want to, you can also add to your skill proficiencies herbalism kit.
Oh, I've got that. It's
You,
Druid innate.
oh, you've got that already. Nah,
Yeah.
that's expertise now.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, put into your bonds friendly terms, and then master of all crafts. This is the name. Mei Tianxi.
Okay.
Bit of an odd figure, but all of a sudden just disappeared. Well, not exactly disappeared from Zaijin. She eventually said her goodbyes and just decided, well, time to go somewhere else. Um, you could never quite place that attitude of hers, but you learned quite a bit from her, and in return, she learned quite a bit from this world, apparently. Maybe you'll see her, maybe not. Who knows? And then, lastly, let me have a look to your pages. Uh, put on some music as well. Fakira, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's the part that I'm not sure about. I think Folkera has like a quote unquote defining event or something.
Mm.
Like why they're a Folkera, that's the thing I'm not sure about.
I think we can leave it as is. I think people have just come to know you as very dependable, very reliable. Since you ask nothing for return for your services, that's how your Fakira status came to be. Like you said before, like how humans tend to go and rush things, yours just came through over time. Uh, so yep, folk hero, and folk hero just applies anywhere that's just not like a major city, right?
I think so.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
great. That there's only like literally 3 major cities in this world, so yeah, you're absolutely fine. Um,
yeah,
that
I
being the
guess like
case,
word would get out, because it would be like, oh yeah, there's this dwarf in Zaijin who healed my cousin type like thing, word of mouth, I feel like.
yep, pretty much. Yeah, you'd be the person to go to if all else fails and if you have no money, and if you make the trek and make the effort, you'd go to Zaijin to see you. So
Mm.
yeah, you'd be relatively famous, and for that you don't have as much money as the starting adventurers because of how you are as a person. But there have been some, on occasion, maybe every 3 to 5 years, just you know, a large amount of donations from maybe anonymous people or persons. So you start this journey with any PHB pack of your choice. Um, any PHB, I'd say I'd give you a bit more freedom. Um, you can go up to your carrying capacity for this. You can take whatever you'd like from the PHB um, item list, as long as it's not a magic item, and as long as it's not the spyglass. They can't, take 20 spyglasses and sell it for 20 grand.
Yeah.
Uh, as well as 100 gold.
Okay.
Not much gold compared to the others. They made some ridiculous choices, but they have some. They start off with enemies and shit.
Yeah, that's fair. I've got sort of just the. So I've got Explorer's Pack, but I got rid of the torches because I don't need them.
And by me? Yep.
Um,
You can add
I've
on
got
to more on that if you'd like.
yeah, I've got a shovel, an iron pot, and glass blowers tools.
Not a problem. All right. Oh, that can definitely be a chapter 1. Done. Moving on to chapter 2. You have a really good life here, and not only do you have that good life here, you've also found your purpose. What do you think if there's anything in the world, and you can say there's nothing in the world, if there's anything in the world that could actually push you to travel from Zaijin, what would it be?
Um, Maybe like as much as he would like begrudgingly, well, he would make a big fuss about it, but I think like if he was summoned to a city, like a major city, as like a hey, like a say, for example, like um maybe like some noble is sick and they send like a person with like a summons to come to the city to heal this guy because they heard that there's a healer in Zaijin or something.
You'd begrudgingly do so. Sure, let's go with that. Roll the 100 for me.
Okay.
38.
He's neutral good, so he helps people for the sake of helping people.
Yeah.
That's why it would be like he'd make it seem like he doesn't want to go when really like it's just because he's a grumpy old dwarf.
Yeah. You make a showing of it, but there is something curious about this request. This was by request of a friend of yours. Looks like May has written back into Zaijin as part of the summons. A personal letter. Obviously, you read the personal letter first. Dearest Torm Thornwick. Apparently, you're some sort of hero in Zaijin. That's great. There's a bit of a problem with the request that you're about to read. I cannot seem to concoct anything, any remedy to cure the malady of this person. I'd like you to come anyway, see what's up. And then, just at the end it just reads dash me. You read the actual summons, and there is a formal request for the Sage of Zaijin to come and save this nobleman's wife. The wife has been struck with an illness, and apparently her condition is just getting considerably worse. And the condition has been described to you as rather odd, actually. She and the nobleman were out on some adventures, as they are an adventuring couple that was meant to retire from their last adventure in the sink. Although the sink naturally has a lot of these like deterrents, magical and natural, it immediately just happened as soon as she set foot off the ship and onto the land. The land around her seemed to die, and all of that positive sort of like life energy that nature around her had seemed to go through her. So the sickness isn't exactly a disease or an illness that you're familiar with. for lack of a better term, it's like she's being overhealed. Like
Right.
someone that's constantly getting doped steroids and stuff because of like the amount of like just healing that's happening in their body and repairing. Uh, it's like an unusable gear second, you know, from
Right.
from One Piece.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you're just thinking, oh, that is a really, really odd and interesting disease. So I guess your travels take you to the sunken cities. You go through, but you take your time. Honestly, it's not like it was an urgent request. Um, you make your way, and don't spend more than just a day in a single village if you have to. But you essentially go through everywhere here, and across the Spine Islands. This is also where you make your mark and get the goodwill of the people by helping all the people that live here. Eventually, come across sunken cities, and it is just one big sinking city. Um, there are some underwater parts of the city already, which are actually inhabited by the more intelligible sea creatures, including merfolk. And then on the east of the sunken cities, there's just a graveyard of ships, all like tied together, still standing galleons as well on the borders to keep it afloat. And then on the island itself, well, as packed as you can get it. Basically, it's New York. You, IRL, New York is also a singing city, just like Jakarta. And yeah, it's just as packed, just as like laid out. You come across the residents, although you don't see May there. The nobleman talks of her having recommended you of all people, and you come across and you see the wife, and yeah, she looks terrible. No hair. She's for her own good. She's restrained to her own bed. Um, and she's occasionally bleeding, actually, and not from orifices. And her orifices are fine. It's just like steam and sort of like what steam and like liquids come out of it rather than blood. And yeah, there are two servants that are consistently like wiping her down, making sure she's cold. But it doesn't look like she's going to last very long. But due to the nature of this disease, she's going to be in torment for a long time. Month, maybe two is all she's got left, you think. So you look at her, and how would you approach this? What would you suggest to the nobleman?
Hmm. Well, I would probably, as I arrive, I would walk in. Um, great. Then I begin. I'll just. I'd like to. I'd like to see your kitchen. Does she go anywhere? Does she eat?
She does not. She tries to, but for her own sake, she is restrained. She's not any danger to us. Rather, she is a danger to herself. And he explains that over the course of the month, she has just grown too strong. Um, she tries to delicately touch things, and it just she can shatter a mug by just holding it.
Mm.
And the reason why she's restrained is because due to the discomfort that this disease brings, she tosses and turns in her bed, and although her husband has been trying to like keep her company for as much as possible, he has suffered some injuries. The tossing and
Okay.
turning.
Um, what about the ship she came back on? Is it still here?
Chartered, but believe it will come back in perhaps a week or 3 days. I'm not sure. I myself have, yeah, had some investigations on this ship, and the other adventures that have come with us, they seem to be fine. I seem to be fine. But of course,
And
the ship, the name of this ship is the Chandelier, captained by I don't know the name, but you should see the Chandelier. Very, 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 very big galleon, second biggest in the second cities, Artemis.
right. And he's gonna turn around back to the wife. He's going to approach her. Just going to cast. Actually, gonna have some time alone with her.
Servants look reluctant as they're constantly wiping them down, but the nobleman goes, "Listen to the man, it's fine." And they leave you alone.
Once it's just me and her.
Yep.
I would cast a spell.
Okay.
I pull out my druidic focus, which would just be. I think it would just be like a ring of like sticks and vines, sort of woven together.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast this.
Detect poison and disease. Oh, hell yeah! What the fuck? Uh. The information comes to you, and this is not a disease per se. Then it hits you. Oh, normally this is the spell that tells you what maladies affect anyone, and this spell off the top, it's your most used spell. This is your bread and butter. The fact that it's not giving you any information can only mean one other thing. If she's still suffering, she is cursed.
And as far as because magic is sort of not really a thing, or it's not something that people generally flaunt or display out in the open.
Yep.
Is there is like religious magic, divine magic, like a thing? Would that be like common knowledge to the average person that it is like a thing that exists?
It is, yes. They're called miracles, and it's largely tolerated anywhere outside of Entolin, essentially. Whilst arcane is looked upon suspiciously everywhere, divine magic at least, especially in Zeitlin and Zeitgen, it's a common enough sort of occurrence, and also thanks to you as well, that divine magic is looked upon sort of divine and natural magic is looked upon in more favorably than arcana.
Okay. After I deduce that it's not a poison or a disease, I would let out a deep, sort of like a sigh of relief, because it's not an ailment of like finding the cure for like something that no one's ever heard of would be like a big deal. So I feel like he'd be relieved,
Mm,
at least that that isn't what's occurring.
yeah.
I. Hmm. Are there any priests in the city? Do your husband have access?
Uh, um, she says, just like opening her eyes again. She's a bit scared of the magic as it came through her and realizes she can trust you. She says, one other, but there's no. Well, it's the sunken city. There's no cathedrals here, no churches, temples. The priests do come and go, but they don't really stay.
Hmm. I see.
Am I? Is there?
I believe it may be a curse.
Oh no.
Do you have any on your travels? Did you find any jewelry or objects that you've brought with you?
Ah, one. It was my mother's, and I keep it on my persons at all times for good luck. She said it was a good luck charm. But she also said the place in which she took it from to just never go back there. I thought it was just, oh no, it's all coming together. As she explains, yeah, she did get a necklace from her mother that her mother had warned her, without giving too much context, not to go towards the Elven kingdoms, lest she, befall very bad luck. Turns out it wasn't just very bad luck. Curse.
Hmm. Um, okay. I will. I will nod. And do you have this necklace? Is it like on her neck?
Yeah, she nods. She's just pointing down with her chin, like there.
Hmm.
Silver,
Do you
silver, silver necklace with like a pendant, like at the bottom of it.
do you mind if I take a look?
Um, wait. Can I have my husband, please?
Of course.
Yeah.
He'll waddle over to the door and
Yeah.
open it up.
Yeah, I assume you brief him on everything.
Yeah, I would. I would open the door, let the husband in. I imagine there'd be like some of their servants or whatever waiting out there too. I would close the door on them, just
Oh,
letting the
yeah.
husband in.
The entire house is actually outside, like waiting the news. And the husband like laughs a little and he says, "Is it okay if the rest come in? We're quite close with the servants."
Not yet.
Okay. Um, you brief him, and then he realizes the gravity of the situation. He looks to his wife, and he unrestrains one of the hands, and he just takes his hand in hers, and then he just says, "My dear, I'll always love you." And she says, "I love you too." And then they both look at you, and then the the wife says, "There's a chance I, might die if the necklace is taken off." So and then
Oh, well, in that case, we leave it on. I'm
No, no,
going.
no. It might be for the best. She says, and like when she says that, like the husband's face just falls. His heart,
He
like you see his heart like break visually.
okay. Tom would like put up his hand to like stop her talking. You're like, no, let me work. I'll be
Oh,
back.
they look to each other. The husband just nods. Okay.
If you know a priest, how soon can you have them here, or can you acquire one? One of
Definitely.
significant. Uh,
Oh, like big man priest. Well,
not
money's
not too big, just capable.
money's not an issue. Yeah. Please tell me how capable they have to be.
Um, hmm. They have to be able to deal with curses.
I see. I mean, of course, of course. I'll get right to it, and I'll increase the reward substantially, so that they make it here post haste. So there is a chance after all. I'm glad there are people like you in this world, sir.
He would just
Well,
nod.
oh, thank God I didn't have to. His wife is just like, sorry, I'm rushing headfirst into things, aren't I again? He says, smiling. And he's like, yes, you definitely are. We didn't have to. He just smiles.
You. Yeah, I'd
Yep.
point at the wife.
Yes.
None of that giving up. I'll be back. And he'll like waddle out of the room.
Yeah, as you waddle out, the servants flood in, and yeah, they're all they're all just listening at the door, and they all cheer, and they celebrate for a bit. And as you walk out of the door, the nobleman comes after you and he says, "Wait, wait, uh, your payments, you are instrumental to this, to my wife's recovery, of course. Um, here, this was the agreed upon full payment, and of course, anything else you wish, if I can provide it, just let me know. You know where I am. Yeah, given 500 gold. I did not realize you just have detect poison and disease. What a win!
Yeah, I've set my character, his like skills and everything is very like based around the like first chapter thing I wrote.
Yeah, just very sage, very healer type.
Yeah, he's proficient in insight, so he can tell if people are lying about symptoms, medicine, so that he can like do it survival and animal handling.
That's awesome. Yep.
Um, so my plan would be I would take the money reluctantly, and then I would say there is one thing.
Yes. What is?
Where can I buy herbs?
Oh. Let me think. And then he gives you directions to, um, just alchemists shops, in the sunken cities. There isn't exactly like a herbalist's place here. Not much nature comes flooding through in the sunken cities, but there's enough of a traffic for potion making that at least you can visit some alchemists for leftover herbs from export and whatnot. So you get a servant to lead you to those places. So all right, you get 500 gold, and you are now, well, you have saved Mr. Oh, nice. What a name that I just generated. Mr. Bank Devondale.
crazy. The reason for going to the thing, I would be going there. I'd want to buy ingredients. Obviously, I'm not trying to cure her. It would just be for. I would want to try to make a potion purely for like pain relief and sort of like a muscle relaxant effect.
Very good idea. Yep.
Just so that she's not in like agony.
Yep. Yeah. You think to yourself, that woman is really tough for her to push through all of that, considering the symptoms that were described to you. You're absolutely right. Maybe some sort of like coolant. It would be secondary, but absolutely a muscle relaxant is like what she really does need, because yeah, she is like roided up out of her mind. Her blood's working 24/7. Her like her chemical levels uh basically all like dopamine, cortisol, estrogen, all of it's just like pumped into her body consistently. And so that cannot be good for any like normal person. And
Yeah.
you realize she's not a normal person for being able to like talk to you and still make decisions. Not really sound decisions. They were impulsive, sure, but still make decisions.
Yeah.
In that case, roll for me. Yeah, roll for me your herbalism to make this concoction.
Okay. What stat would that use?
This is definitely the first time you're doing it, so intelligence. And then a choice of either wisdom, intelligence, or dex for any future repetitions. 13? Not bad. Not bad at all. You're not, you're not making a grand cure roll, so.
That was +2. That was not proficient.
Ah,
The
I
15.
see. For 15. Well, technically your expertise now on this. Thanks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's 15, 17.
17.
Yeah. Cool. Sweet. 17. Not bad. And then you bring it to her, and she. What would be the effect of this? I think she just falls right asleep, like immediately asleep, because of how much it will just like relax her body. And how she realizes, oh, she can actually have some sort of like break, and her brain registers and realizes this too. Um, the nobleman bank sort of looks at like the concoction that she just took, and he asks, "Was that some sort of tranquilizer?"
Not as such. But similar effects. Sometimes when the rams are restless, I give them this.
Oh. Ah, he says, a nodding, a nod of understanding, and he thinks to himself, and looks like he's making some quick calculations in his mind, and he's like, "Would it be something? Uh, would that be something learned? May I be able to make this?"
Yes. I can pretty much. I would just. Do you have paper, charcoal?
Yep. Ah, ink quill. Uh, gets the servants to fetch paper, ink and quill, and
Ink.
yeah.
It would just be like, ugh,
Oh,
fancy,
it's
man.
yeah. Think of it as liquid charcoal. Don't worry, you can be as messy as you can. It's fine. Yes, I'm a fancy man, but I really don't mind at this point.
His writing, he can read and write. It wouldn't be, it just looks like just like a guy has written. But he would just write down um some pretty much some instructions
Hmm.
on how to make it, the ingredients as well.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
it, the writing is like kind of, it's very easy to read, but not very like fancy, but it is very detailed.
Yes. Okay. Looks like you'll see him. You know. He essentially moved like a lot of his study to where his wife's room is. You see him immediately like make copies of what you've given him. Um, and they're more so for like it looks like he's giving it to his head butler to try and understand as well. And it looks like over the next few days he says he's going to plan to um make some of this, and he'd like you to at least stay so he could express both like his full generosity and for supervision, so you can supervise if he's making the right things. Because you can overdo it with muscle relaxants, that's for sure.
Yeah. I think Tom would just, when he starts asking me if I can stick around, Tom would sort of just have like a blank face. He's just like, well, it's too far to travel from here to home and come back again, so I'm not going to leave my patient.
That's actually not a problem. If if you'd like, I can take you on my sloop. It's quite a fast ship. We'll sail across the islands and take you to Zeitgen, from whence I requested you. But of course, whatever you'd like to do afterwards, sir. And
I'll stay here. I will stay here until she's okay.
I'm forever grateful. And he really is. This definitely is not the usual nobleman that you read about or like hear about and whatnot. Um, he gives you like reign of his servants, although you probably wouldn't know how to command them, or if you even do. Uh, get your own room. You get a taste of luxury for a bit. Um,
I think he would spend all of his time outside, unless it's like, unless he's called upon, he would be
oh,
out in the
he insists,
gardens.
at least for dinner. He insists that you come.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah, and yeah, this guy can't help himself. He yaps, dude. He's a bit of uh yeah, just definitely a bit of a yapper. You can tell this guy doesn't get punched in the face too often because he's the type to humble brag, but he's more humble than the brag at least. And he's relatively nice. At one of the nights, they make it so that the the wife actually gets to sit on the table with you because not only have you like perfected the concoction essentially over the time there, um, you've made enough of it so that they'd be stocked up for a while, and also now the husband can now like perfectly make it as well. Satisfied with his um performance, you make yeah you spend your time in probably one of the only gardens in this city is his backyard. Is there anything in specific you want to do while in this like small garden, or you just like spend your time and relax here?
Yeah, I think he would spend his time there relaxing. Maybe even looking at look looking into the flowers, like figuring out what they are, um,
Hmm.
if they have any medicinal uses. If not, that's fine. He'd still appreciate it. Um,
The opposite, in fact.
Sort of like a like a dad's come over to their kid's place, and like they don't look after their garden properly, so he's
So he's like just inspecting
like
like the
watering the plants and
yeah.
doing the weeds and stuff like
Hmm.
that.
Thanks to them having servants, you don't relatively have to do most of that, except for the weeds bit.
He
Looks
he would insist.
Yep. Yeah, the gardener there, or well, the servants there don't really do a good job of tending to the weeds, but they at least water the plants regularly. Not medicinal, no. The opposite, in fact. Um, he had explained why he makes quite a bit of money before, as as he humble bragged about his like adventures and whatnot. And you get the sense there's a bit more to him than meets the eye. Uh, there's hemlock, wolfsbane, belladonna. There's all sorts of poisonous flowers in his backyard. There's even a couple that you don't really recognize. Make a nature check for me. Also, be right back, toilet.
Okay. The nature boy.
Woo! Yeah, maybe that should be my druid next. The nature boy.
Ric Flair.
Woo!
That would be a crazy druid idea. Just a moon druid. The nature boy.
The most
got, like,
fanciest dressed druid.
Yeah. He's got like a belt, like with a big buckle on it.
Yeah, like a fancy ass little big ass robe thing
Yeah.
made of I don't know, maybe
Walks in slow motion.
and it'll always be like woo! Woo!
Woo!
Oh. Oh man. Everyone's gonna try kill me.
One day we need to all make. Everyone needs to basically make a D&D character that's designed after a wrestler.
Yeah.
That'd be so funny.
Yo, I've been waiting to find someone to be Huggis's tag team partner. But I never come across a halfling
Yeah, that's fair.
to be nice and matching. Although, maybe head free comes close.
True.
Because, do you know the guy I based the Huggis on?
I don't.
Got his name. Scott Hall.
Oh,
Do you know Scott Hall?
it rings a bell.
From NWO. Him and Henry would never.
They might.
He might, yeah. Just wait till they become friends, bro. I've been Scott Hall. He his tagged his partner's what's his name? Fuck.
Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash. So I've been looking for my Kevin Nash. Like,
Head
just
tree.
speaking like in my own mind. I'm like, whenever we play,
Yeah.
I'm like, who can be my Kevin Nash? It's gonna be hit free now. Yeah,
Has to be.
What's gonna be Henry? What the
he's gonna be.
Huggis's tag team partner.
heck? Oh boy.
They're gonna be friends.
Best friends. I rolled 12.
12? I realize you don't even need a roll. Technically, you can use detect poison and disease, right?
Yes, I can. Actually, it's poison. I don't know if it's poisonous plants. It's poisonous
Creature?
creatures.
Oh. This creature. Let me look. Are plants creatures D&D?
I guess there are plant creatures.
Plants are not inherently creatures, but can be classified as such if they are animated, sentient, or possess a stat block. Oh, okay. Ordinary vegetation like grass or trees are considered objects, not creatures.
Mm,
Yeah, I guess you would need a nature check. Huh, look at that. 12. That's fine. Do you touch any of them?
He would probably, unironically, he would probably even try and ingest some of them.
Yeah.
Like small amounts, but like it's the way he would have discovered what things do, you know, when
Yep.
he's gathering different plants from the mountainside.
Yeah. Your poison resistance wasn't from being a dwarf. It was just from doing all this.
Yeah.
uh, not a problem. There's a very like droopy looking dandelion sort of like plant. Um, it looks like it's wilting and dying, and then when you realize this one is relatively taken care of well, it is just naturally the case. Except the petals are black. You touch that one. Oh, wow. You can tell immediately from from like the loss of like your nerves
Mhm.
from just the touch itself. This is an extremely powerful numbing agent. You probably don't want to ingest that unless you want to go catatonic for like an hour.
Yeah, I think if in that scenario he wouldn't,
Yeah,
but he would be thinking, well, why didn't they just use this?
that's crazy. Yeah. Um. Yeah, true. Why didn't they just use that? You get the sense it probably does more than just a coma. Probably this is probably like one of those insta kill plants. You think to yourself if wrongly ingested or ingested just a bit too much. Um. And then the other one is odd. You touch it, nothing. You ingest it, nothing. It's even tasteless, odorless.
That's not
And
good.
yeah, and yeah, you think to yourself, yeah, that can't be good. It looks like a white lotus, but the stem is pure red, like blood red. Bit odd.
Hmm.
But yeah, the rest of the plants are your normal poisons, of varying, degree
Yeah,
of
different
lethality.
nightshade plants.
Yep. Yeah, got your hemlock, got your belladonnas, got your nightshades. Yeah. But yes,
Cute.
do you bring up the topic of why they didn't use that flower?
I think he would just be thinking it. Yeah, I don't think he would mention it to them.
No.
I think
Eventually,
he's
yeah,
intelligent enough where he would just be like, well, why wouldn't they use this? And then think to himself, well, there's probably a good reason why he didn't use this. If he's growing it, he probably knows what it does.
yeah. That being the case, it's a strange day, and the priest that does come along is an odd one, the one that um answered the summons.
Hmm.
You're reluctant to let this guy through. So is the husband, but the wife seems to agree. This is a this is it's an unregistered priest, and he has at least shown the fact that he can remove curses because the husband at least was familiar. If he can remove curses, surely he can produce daylight, and this man silently does so, and proves that he can, produce miracles of that level. So he can remove the curse, but an unmarked priest usually isn't a good idea, at least in common sense. But he seems like a kindred soul. He seems like someone just keeps to himself. He seems uncomfortable around here. He's a human man, hooded. The feature is not too like visible under the hood, and likes to keep it that way. And he says he's not really a priest of the Lord of um um like the goddess of like nature, nor is he a priest of the Lord of Light, the Lord of Fire. Um, nor is he a priest of just the land, just like how you are. He says it's none of your business and it's confidential. But he seems capable. Um, the nobleman does turn to you and speaks that his wife, although placated, may not have that much time. He's not sure how much it's deteriorated the insides of her. So he turns to you. Should we wait another month for another priest, or should we use him?
Can I insight the priest? Pretty much just looking for any ill intent.
Sure. Make an insight check. 18. You're not sure if it's ill intent, but he's in a hurry. That's the rest I gave you for free because you're a kindred soul with him. Like he's really uncomfortable being here.
Yeah.
But that's odd. He answered the summons, but he is very, very uncomfortable with being here. Yeah, he's in a very big hurry.
Um, let him do it. I will handle him.
All right. And of course I'll be there. Oh, I need to see this for myself, and you too do. See it for yourself. He conducts a ritual, and once he removes the curse, he simply um takes away like the mediums for his ritual, and you see now. Oh, that's why he wanted to hurry. It was a bit odd to see him draw a circle around the bed, of it being like just ashes. It's charcoal. It's ashes. Not like human ashes and stuff like that. But then his next medium was a bit unnerving to see as he drew just lines. He got vials and drew lines of blood from the edges of the circle towards the limbs of the woman. And you watch this and you're prepared to just step in and just interrupt it just in case it's anything more than what he says it was, but it wasn't. The curse seems to remove and just huge, just massive like steam blow through all the orifices, like a Harry Potter with the with like the steam blowing out of his ears. But basically through the mouth, through the eyes, through the ears. She is just like she's not screaming. In fact, she looks like relieved, and then all of a sudden, she looks like normal again. She pats herself. She tries to tend through the restraints. Normally she can break through, but she can't. And immediately, the husband like unrestrains her, and they have their whole reunion again. But you can't help but just like have your eyes on this priest figure who just like he seems to sigh relief and then adjust his robes and adjust himself, and he just says, he just walks up to Bank and he says, "Money, please." He goes, um, sure, please, sir. I apologize for being suspicious. If you don't mind, could you stay for? And he goes, "No, I have somewhere to be. Please, can I have the money? And I need to go." He goes, all right. Uh, satchel should be on the and before he could even finish, he takes the satchel off the study table, and he's just like briskly leaves. Um, as he does so, the servants flood in again, and there's a whole big celebration. Um, these two seem to be, yeah, really, really, really liked by their servants, probably because they pay well and well, they're relatively nice people. And yeah, there's that. Do you
And the
also make your leave?
necklace, has the necklace taken off of her?
Um, not not yet.
Okay.
You watch for a bit, and observe. Obviously they'll insist that you stay as well, just in case, any further symptoms persist. Um, and for the next few days, she's absolutely fine. She herself tends to the garden. She herself is the user of the wooden dummy in this place. It's the Ip Man style sort of wooden dummies. She seems to be a hand to hand like type combatant, and you realize, oh, that's why she's so tough. She's quite adept at martial arts, it seems, and yeah. Just observing her, she you didn't notice this, but it seems throughout the night she was with her husband. One of those nights she did take off the necklace, and it's no longer there.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'd stay for a few days, making sure that everything's okay. And then I think very, very early one day, I would just leave without saying anything.
Okay.
There
Are
would be,
you stealthy with this, or?
I mean, I would just be walking out the front door, but I'm not like, it would be early enough in the morning that the the guy and his wife are still asleep.
Yep, they definitely are. But the head butler does catch you, and he says, sir, before you leave, the head of the house, the master, has assumed this would have happened. Without you saying your goodbyes, I assume. He says he wishes to relay his utmost thank you, gratitude, and for you to have this. Um, and he gives you the crescent necklace, actually. And he says, "Not to worry. The master has seen to it the magics are no longer on it. Um, however, whilst appraised by the person of um arcane discipline," he says with a bit of like distaste.
Mm.
It seems to be some sort of great medium for power. He does not know what to do with it, and just wishes to bequeath upon you this necklace. The imagery and the pendants have been replaced with a platinum pendant instead. It is yours now. Thank you for your service, sir. He says, bowing, deeply bowing to you.
I'd give a small nod and be on my way. Also, I would have left in the room. In the room would be the pouch of 500 gold and a a note written crudely just saying, "Thanks for the accommodation."
Damn, dude. Then you go. He will remember this. All right, sure. Okay. And yeah, with you is yeah.
Necklace.
Necklace. Put in brackets. Very enchantable.
Okay. So the scientific term. Okay.
Hmm. And yeah, you eventually make your way back to Zaijin. Not a problem. Ah.
Cool. But at least now, I think with this, him being gone for so long, he would be sort of, he would be more open to traveling to help people. I think he would
Okay.
have been pretty reluctant to go anywhere. But seeing all the people, both back and forth from Zaitjin, and all the people he's helped, it would be like, I think he'd have sort of an epiphany, like there's more people out there who need his help.
Yep. Not a problem. Awesome. Yeah. The trek took like 3 months, but then you'd eventually make your way back to Zaitjin, and then briefly be there and travel once more. There's plenty of these people now that flock to you, and you realize, oh yeah, Bank was one of a kind. It seems because the rest of the noblemen you help, yeah, your typical you know, um, I will fetch you this much amount of gold should you cure my wife of this malady, and it's something really, really fucking simple. And
Yeah.
you wish you didn't travel 2 months just to go to Entuin to heal someone of a common cold, and then go back. Honestly, yeah, you're now far less reluctant, but you realize, yeah, that was definitely a unique event that you had gone through.
Mhm.
In your travels, do you seek out someone that could perhaps enchant the amulets?
Yeah, I think I probably would.
Okay. Um, due to your how you are honestly and your travels, you'd eventually make your way to Zeitland for some sort of like same request, and instead of um, fixing up his arm, his like this is like a rotting arm that this guy had, and this guy was definitely poisoned. Foul play poison, actually, and you explain to him as such. And when it got cured, um, instead of taking the money, you realize you had cured yourself by uh, an arcane smith, um, a legendary trade based, essentially mythical in this place, uh, of Zeitland. And when yeah, you see this is your chance to get that amulet enchanted, and yeah, you take that as a payment instead. And as he does so for you, roll a d100 for me. See how good this pendant is.
Alright. 100 or 1. I won't take anything else. That's
77.
okay. It'll
That's
do.
alright.
Round
Freddy,
it up.
roll d100 for me.
It's basically a 100 for me.
Yeah. Oh my god!
My guys.
Oh my god! Are you kidding? We've been rolling nothing but ones and hundreds in our last sessions. I was gonna say pick the number you want. You obviously want the one, huh?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, let me, because I really didn't skip out on giving people there's some really really cool shit in this in this campaign. Oh my god. He comes back to you and produces you the amulet again, and he's disappointed in himself, actually. He says, I've got an enchantment here for defense and protection, but never really came across. I can't believe I'm saying this. This is a failed product. It will it still serves as a magical item, so if a stray arrow comes to you and you happen to see it coming, or you want to keep up something held in place, just put this underneath it, or put this in place. It will just block everything. But it only blocks in the vicinity of the amulet. It's relatively powerful, but it's only a magic item as is. And yeah, he apologizes like profusely. He keeps on and explaining, but you probably stop him, right? And just take it, because sure.
Yeah, he
There's
would
no-
be. He'd probably even be happy.
Yeah, he'd find a use for this. I mean, it's an indestructible object essentially. For the necklace. But one day, maybe it was a long time coming, or maybe you or maybe you're surprised that this even came to you. But there have been talks of people receiving, in stories, the people that were capable of the greatest of miracles had the lords speak to them, had nature themselves speak to them. In your dreams, to dream because you had slept, but oh no, you're in some sort of like tangible space, but you can't move your body, and you see the necklace floating before you, and it says, "This world is in danger. Find the resting places of the great druids. Find the pieces. It just like it echoes everywhere across your mind, and whenever like the word pieces replays in your mind, you see it flashes of just this green glass that you're meant to just sort of like collect, or it's telling you to collect. And then you see, and you open your eyes once more and you look at the amulet, and it says, once everything is in place, once both artifacts, and then you see the other artifact in question, taken and worn by another person in a mask. Um, Strange mask. His hair seems to drift in all sorts of directions. It's the figure itself looks familiar, but you can't quite place why. And then it says, only then you'll be free from this world. This world is in peril. This world isn't, and it just repeats. Then when you wake up, there's a cold sweat running down you, and you look at the amulet again, and it's different. You have on you inactive Amulet of the Plains. Currently, it does not require attunement. While wearing this amulet, you can use an action to name a location that you're familiar with on another plane of existence. You make a DC 15 intelligence check. On a successful check, you can cast a plane shift spell. On a failure, you and each creature and object within 15 feet of you travel to a random destination. Roll a d100. On a 1 to 60, you travel to a random location on the plane you named. On a 61 to 100, you travel to a randomly determined plane of existence.
Oh fuck!
Once you get the glass that it seeks, as well as the other artifact, this will become active.
Yeah, okay.
And would you be very curious to this, or would you go about your life as normal?
I think depending on the timeline, honestly, because it's like, kind of.
Sudden.
Yeah, I think it would be like the first thing that came to my mind is like he would be back at home. Um, if there
Oh
was
yeah,
like
you
a
would be back there.
if there was like a wobbly table, he would be using the amulet to like make the table level.
Yep.
Like not really care, not that he doesn't care, but it's sort of like
Get some use out of
it
it.
doesn't matter to him how important this thing is. Like it makes his table really like nice and level. So he sort of uses it for at the moment.
Yep. Not a problem. There is all of a sudden in the next month or so, um, that man that you had seen in your vision, the one with the mask and sort of like that wavy hair, it seems to have been depicted on wanted posters actually, and
Mm.
yeah, it is this is the most wanted man in the world. Uh, with a bounty of 3,000 gold, the Meteor Man is apparently the head of the current um sort of revolutionary movement. Um, and that revolutionary movement within the last month had broken into the correctional institute of the magically disabled and had freed all the mages there, essentially. So whoever this Silas kind of guy is, he's making waves everywhere in the world, and yeah, this is where your chapter 3 comes in, because I'll tell you this now, and it depends on whether or not you show up on the chapter on the first session, or you can forgo and show up at another time within the campaign. The voice again summons you to the north of the world to try and save as much as possible. You think to yourself logically, if an apocalypse were to happen, you probably shouldn't go to the source. You can probably save a lot more lives by being in other places. Do you listen to the voice and go and travel north and show up in the first session, or do you wanna ignore the voice and be just encountered upon some place in another place in the campaign, because your character is still you. You can still make this decision. You don't have to
Yeah,
show up on
I
because
think
it totally makes sense for you to not listen to the voice.
yeah, I don't think he would listen to the voice.
Yeah.
Um, he'd probably have the amulet. He'd keep the amulet with him. He'd wear it if he's not at his home. But if he's like traveling around, like he'd be wearing it if he's traveling around and like helping
Yes.
people and stuff. Um, but yeah, I don't think. I think it would just be like it would tell him you have to go north, and he'd be like, "No thanks."
Yeah. And then it
He'd just be helping
happens.
people.
Yeah. You feel the shift in the arcane wind happen. A massive surge of magic floods the land, and essentially you already saw what happens in the chapter 3 for the others, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So you get a different perspective on this. Let's say you'd be in Greenchen, actually, because you were curious. I mean, one of the great druids' resting places were here as well. But also you were called upon here to fix someone's problem. And here you saw the sky turn black just for a brief moment, and then like just piece by piece, as if like puzzle places or like a room full of solar panels was just being put on. The sky begins to light up blue again, in different places until it's fully back blue. And you feel oddly more powerful as that arcane wind sort of like washed through you. And all of a sudden, there's panics across like Grecian and the villages are about like people that couldn't do magic can all of a sudden do magic now. There's a little bit of chaos, but it's quickly contained here. And there is going to be a dispatch of just druids going to Entoin, and you realize if this really is the beginning of the end of the world, Entoin is going to have the most amount of people needing help. Will you be staying here? Will you be going somewhere else? Or will you go to Entoin?
Hmm.
This will determine where in the campaign you'll show up for them.
Yeah. The most amount of. I'm trying to think. So the place where he could do the most amount of good would be Antoine.
Yes, because it just has the most amount of population. However, that's probably where the most chaos is happening.
Mm,
Because they are heavily anti-magic, and all of a sudden, people are just granted it.
yeah. I think he would. He would go to Antoine.
Okay. Yeah. You go out with just this dispatch of druids, just 4 others that were had the same sort of like mind as you. One of them talks about how uh Mother Nature had talked to them in their dreams and saying that they needed to help as much people as possible. The other one, there's a woman druid there that's just relatively pragmatic and logical. And she just says, "Yeah, Antoine has the most amount of people. It's just correct that we go there and save as much as we can." Believe, in terms of saving, we need to evacuate as much of those people as possible. And they discuss amongst themselves, and you hear one druid go, "Those people? Are we to extract? Are we to go there and get as much magically able? It's not a bad idea. There's something terrible on the horizon, and I feel as if we need to run from it." And one of the other druids just goes, "Nah, we don't run from these sort of things. All of the people must be saved. We need to save as much as we can, not just those that are useful."
Indeed. It'd be the first thing he said since he joined this group. He would just be traveling with. Probably silent the entire time. If they ask him questions, like he would just grunt, sort of like a affirming sound or like a shake his head.
Yeah.
But for this, when the guy says we need to save as many people as possible, regardless of if they're useful or not, he would say, yeah, that would be the first time he would actually speak and say agreed.
They take that and they realize the gravity of the situation. Of that when you said agreed and actually said something for the first time. This like burly man that spoke out loud to that just smirks and he says, He's with me," and they go back to arguing. It's a clearly divided group, but they seem talented and they're all druidic in nature at least. But yeah, you make your way with this group to carefully do as much good as you can in Entoin. Yeah. And that's where we'll leave it. We hopefully
Cool.
yeah, you'll show up in the like second, third, or fourth like session, and hopefully the looters and the shooters won't get to you by then.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be a crazy fucking time to get to you.
Yeah, he is quite, even without his magic, he's very like uh strong and like capable.
Hmm. Yep. Since since you're playing this as a caster and the arcane winds hit you, but you weren't at the site. You start this camp. Oh no. Yeah, sessions would have happened. Yeah. Make your character level 4 now.
Okay.
And I'll tell you if you need to level up your character further, as the sessions go by, and whatnot. But yeah, interesting. This is a good character. Holy shit, nice one.
Yeah. I was honestly expecting to die.
Uh, yeah, there. I only gave you one chance to die, and that's
If I ate the plant.
if you ate the oh no, two chances. Sorry. Yeah, forgot about that. If you ate the plant, you actually would have died. Yes. Two, if you took the necklace. Actually, that was a trap.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ah.
I just disguised it as, yeah, please help me. Yeah, session 0 is I am looking to kill you guys here too. But
Yeah,
yes,
because the way I saw it was like it's like she's trying to give up, and he wouldn't let her.
yeah. She pretty much was. You know, of course, I had to like, wow, nice. Hell, holy
Huge.
shit, dude. Yeah, I put myself in that like mindset, right? I put myself in her shoes. If you're like suffering like that for like a couple months, you would, and you clearly have like injured like your servants and like your husband doing so, and
Yeah, it would
like
take a mental toll for sure.
yeah, it would take a like large mental toll. And I think you like, you know, it's a sensitive topic, but killing oneself wouldn't be like too out of the picture too, because she had her make her think, you know, no more burden for me, no more burden for my husband, sort of deal.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But this guy's cool. This guy's too good for this world. He should have been an Interrock, man. This guy should have been a hero in Interrock.
I know, I know. Who
I
knows?
really don't want to kill this guy. No, I'm very impressed. Yeah, what you wrote was really, really good. And I was just like, I read it twice, and I'm like, fuck, dude, this
Yeah.
is nice.
Yeah, I want him to be like, like actual guy. I wanted to, because I was thinking like even if we die, I want it to like mean something.
Yeah, you have a chance now. Thanks to the one, you picked 1 equals campaign ending magic item.
Fuck.
Yep. I gave you some conditions. I didn't want you to be able to use it right away, but it's not too hard actually. Those conditions.
Oh, I almost forgot the weird family heirloom.
Oh, the weird family heirloom. Oh yes, roll d20 for that.
Yeah.
3. What's this one? This in another time, in another place, this would have been an amazing magic item to have. But for now, you think of this as near useless. Um, your father had once just gotten this from an adventurer that had died within the vicinity of Zeitgen, and well, unable to contact the adventurer's like family if he even had any, he just decided to keep this cloak. Technically, this is a legendary item. Technically, however, the curse on it is extremely bad, and you don't think you'd ever use this apart from niche situations. This is a cloak of invisibility. However,
Okay.
when you wear this cloak and turn invisible, all your senses shut down.
Oh,
As in, also your sense of touch, meaning you probably can't take it off.
yeah.
But hey, you're invisible.
Yeah, and you'll stay that way.
He'll stay there. He'll stay that way. Yup, this one's really bad. Holy shit.
That is
Weird
crazy.
family heirloom indeed. There you go. You can name it however you want, but it's I have it in my I have it in my notes. Cloak of invisibility, but bad in brackets. Caps,
Perfect.
all caps, but bad.
I've just got the cursed cloak of invisibility, and then
There you go.
the description is turns off all senses.
Yeah,
That
it's a
is a
lot more
crazy
bad
trick.
than good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. You put it on
Maybe
someone.
you, yeah, exactly. You put it on someone and then they'll cease to exist, I guess.
Yeah, just gotta remember where I put them.
Oh god. Yeah, this is an amazing kidnapping tool. But this is not the character for it.
No, not at all.
Yeah, this will be interesting. Oh, I, of course, you can also just leave this at home. Do you take this with your travels?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't bring it with me,
You wouldn't.
but
Okay, good. But yeah, should you ever go back to Zyjin, that isn't an option. So just put it there.
it's draped over a sheep at home. That's just one sheep that's invisible.
Yep. You forgot it was there. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Nobody knows.
here you go. That's your weird family heirloom. Yeah, I can't really think of any use for it other than it's a good kidnapping tool.
Great torturing tool.
Yep, that too.
Because
Although
I mean, they don't know
they
that
wouldn't
they're.
even feel it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. But you wouldn't feel any different, but you would lose everything. Like you just, it's almost like you are erased.
Yeah, yeah, essentially.
Oh wait, that's a sick name.
It's the opposite of a domain expansion, infinite void.
Yeah. Cloak of Erasure.
Cover erasure. That is a good one. Yeah.
Horrifying. Imagine you're like strapped to a chair, someone puts this on you, you lose the ability to touch, smell, hear, see, everything just goes away until they take it off. I feel like, man, you go insane very quickly. I feel like
Yep,
if
that sheep
happens.
is special.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah.
But he also doesn't exist, except he
Yep.
does.
Just knowledge overload as soon as you take off the cloak.
Yeah. Have you ever watched the show The Good Place?
I have not.
Oh, okay. There's like a part in it where they're talking about like how time works in the afterlife, basically. And it's like they're talking about like it's because the way the timeline goes, it like crosses over itself over and over, and it spells out in the English language Jeremy Bearimy in cursive. And
Okay.
then there's like one guy who's like very philosophical, and he's like looking at it, and there's a dot over the I, and he's like, what is that?" And then they were like, "Oh yeah, that's I think that's Tuesday, and also July, and sometimes it's never." And he's and the guy's just like, "What the fuck is happening?" Just like losing his mind.
Oh.
That's this cloak.
Yeah, this clerk is just. Ooh.
You may never
Like
see
I said,
that.
yeah. If only this was an Edorak instead, this would have been. crazy cloak.
Edorak on an evil character would have been
Yep.
a crazy cloak.
Yeah. Hey, but hey, if you just want to forget about everything, put it on.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
All right. Anything else? You don't need. It's a circle of shepherds, so you don't need help in leveling your character and shit, right?
Nah, I'm all
Yeah, no,
good.
you're all vanilla. No UA spells that you're interested in.
Yeah, no, I think it's all like PHB or Xanathars.
Oh yeah, not a problem.
Um, yeah, it's all good.
Nice. All right. Hopefully you, if you ever activate the amulet, you don't. I don't know. Just put
I
yourself
got
into the world of war. Would have been the.
yeah. There's a
some-
few very bad places.
Yeah. There's
Any
quite a.
of the elemental planes, I think. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Sweet. That'll be all. GG's Lizzie. Well done. You didn't eat the flower. You didn't take the necklace off.
Can't trick me.
Apparently not.
Alright, GG.
Latest. Cheers, Panda.
Oh, GG, boys.
Later.
I'm off. Time
See
to
ya.
rest.
Make some food.
Yo,
Hooch.
later,
Bye-bye.
boys.